Hello, my name's Derek Bailey. For those who don't know me, I've been a wood turner now off and on for over 40 years and taught for 8 of them. My previous video I did a pen, elaborated on it from a standard slimline pen kit and made it a little bit fatter. And yes, I quite enjoyed it out of burr elm. The burr elm was a bit of a challenge to fill all the voids and the rough bits in to make it look presentable. So I've decided to make a pen case for it. Most of the pen cases I've seen are square boxes and you can buy them already made up. Well, I wanted to see if I could turn a pen case rather than have it as a rectangular box. I've got mixed results. The quality isn't up to the standard that I would want, but it was a prototype. So for those who are watching this and would like to introduce cabinetry skills and box making skills into it, then I'm hoping there'll be enough scope for you to do so. But I enjoyed making it, and the next one I make will be in a bit better condition, but the idea's there and I hope you get a lot from it. Anyway, that's enough waffling, let's get on. Seeing as this is a prototype, there's no point in wasting good wood, so I've got a bit of scrap mahogany, about 60mm square, and I'll make it from that. I've drawn a rough outline with some compasses on the end just to give me an idea of where I want to cut the piece up after I've turned it to a cylinder. I cut the mahogany just a little bit short. I could have done with some extra on which to mount it, so I had to make a thin tenon at the end. Normally I'd use the gauge straight in, but I had to be careful of not hitting the metal with it, the metal drive centre, so I had to take it in stages. Previously measured the thickness of the pen that I'm going to put in this case, and it worked out at a 20mm diameter, so I'm using a spade drill for this. As you can see, it wandered a little bit off centre, but we can sort that out in a minute. Now I want to cut a section out of the cylinder when I eventually turn it, but I find it very hard to do a straight cut down the length of the case when it's a cylinder, so I'm doing it while it's in the square. But I have to take account of the wandering of the spade drill, so I've made a line that follows the drift of the hole inside the blank, with a line which I'll use for cutting with a very thin saw blade. Off camera I finished off the 20mm diameter hole, so it went right through the blank. Now it's a simple matter of inserting the conical revolving centre in the tailstock and lining it up with the hole that I've made. Because of the hole drift in the blank, I have to remember to square off the end, otherwise it won't be square to the hole. For this prototype I'm just going down to 320 grit, and then I can see the pencil mark that I'm going to have to make to do a second cut, but this time on the cylinder. The reason I didn't do it when it was square, when the blank was square, is because of the hole drift. Two cutting lines would get a bit complicated, so I decided to use the tool rest as a guide. For obvious reasons, it's essential that the cylinder doesn't move, because I'm going to use a craft knife to establish a cut in the cylinder so that it'll act as a guide for when I use a saw. Off camera I made the saw cuts right through to the bore, and this is the result. I'm now making two end discs to glue on at a later stage to the case itself. Did you spot that? I forgot to tighten up my tool rest. It happens to us all. Because I measured the case slightly shorter than the pen itself, I've just made a recess in the two end plates to accommodate the length of the pen. As it happens, by twisting the pen and exposing the nib, I can lock it inside the pen case, if that's of any use. It's just crossed my mind now. I could have made the whole lot, the end plates and the whole cylinder in one go and just parted off what I needed. But with prototypes, the beauty is you can always think of better ways of doing it later on. The essential thing is, does the thing work and do what I want it to? Now for the fiddly bit, fitting these micro hinges. With my essential tremors, this is going to be a bit of fun. didn't quite work as shown. Off camera I had to mount the cylinders lengthways in the vise rather than thickness wise to hold it properly, so I could nail the little rivets into the hinges, but I got there in the end. It's now a case of making a flat surface so that the pencase doesn't roll over the place, and can be used as a mount for the pencase itself. It's now a matter of gluing the two end plates onto one part of the cylinder, not both parts. Stranger things have happened in my lifetime, but not on this occasion. Well, I hope this little video whets your appetite to do some pencases, turn pencases for a turn pen. The limit is your imagination. I'm sure some of you out there can produce something far better than I have. The quality isn't up to my standard that I'd like, but as a prototype it'll suffice.